and welcome to my booktube. Hey friends, and welcome to my channel. Okay, I've been wanting to say that for way too long, so thanks for joining me today. So today I'm going to start by doing the BookTube Newbie Tag because that's like a rite of passage in this community, and I want to be able to have you get to know me a little more. So without further ado, hello, my name is Leighellen, and welcome to my BookTube channel. Sounds so good. One of the first questions everyone always asks is, why did you start this channel? I started this channel because I already have a Bookstagram account over on Instagram, and I host a blog where I post reviews and author interviews. But one of the things that I've noticed about both of those is that I am unable to fully discuss the things I want to talk. So I started using stories a while ago to share my reviews and discuss books. I started doing these little book chats with Leighellen once a week. And I love them, but stories is really short and really condensed. And so I feel like BookTube enables me to be able to have this more long-term conversation about books that I care about, and enables me to discuss maybe a little more in-depth books that I really am passionate about and want to share with you, and is a much better avenue for doing unboxings. So that's where I'm at. I hope you stick around. Question number 2, why do you love reading? Okay, I'm a mom. I'm a mom of 3. They're grown. They're not, don't think of me as like a little toddler mom. They're taller than me. But kids are loud. My life is loud. I have 3 boys, and my job as a photographer is emotionally draining. It's a wonderful job that you're always like pushing and encouraging people, and it's exhausting. Reading for me is like quiet. I love to read in the quiet. I also love the ability to learn about people. I love people, and I love investing in them, and I love learning about other cultures and places, and reading allows me to do all of those things from the comfort of my own home. So that is my reading. Question number 3, what book got you into reading? Let me show you. You guys, I still have it. This is my original book, stolen from my school library. Please, librarian, don't send me to jail. Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret. This shows my age, first of all. This is like a classic old school book, but I loved it. It made me feel like I finally wasn't alone. I was a tomboy growing up. I was like the last person in my entire friend group to get her period. I always thought there was something wrong with me, that I liked to climb trees and like play with bugs and run outside, and I wasn't very girly. And I literally, back then, there weren't a lot of people like that. And so this book, I felt like I was finally seen. And I feel like that is the power of literature in our lives. You can finally be seen, be heard, you can connect, and that is what is empowering about books and why I love to read. The other books, when I was even younger, I loved Encyclopedia Brown books. I loved those choose your own adventure books. I loved any kind of like mystery like that. And I always chose wrong. I always died by like page 3, but whatever, I went back and read again. Shel Silverstein, that was another one. His poetry, I still love reading poetry. His poetry just made my imagination come alive. And again, I just felt like there was someone else that I could connect with in a world where I felt like I couldn't connect with anyone. So those are my favorite books and what got me psyched about reading. Question number 4. When did you start reading? I feel like that kind of connects to the first questions there. I have read as long as I can remember. Going to the library was one of my favorite things. I was a latchkey kid, and both of my parents worked, and so a lot of times after school I could just walk to the library. It was a wonderful place to find books and immerse myself into whole other worlds, and I loved reading. I loved the quiet of the library. I've always loved quiet, so I think I must be overwhelmed by my family or something. I don't know. My mom has like a lot of relatives, and they're all really loud, and so I really like quiet. So reading to me has always been a solace, and so I've always read. Okay, number 5. Number 5 is, where do you read? Actually, I read everywhere. I have this little book nook that I created. It used to be an extra bedroom, and then for a while it was my office, but we made it this book nook once I started bookstagramming, and it's been a great place to just hang out. I've got a book in here, I've got a bed in here, I've got pillows in here, I've got artwork in here. It is my space. But I also read. I read every night before bed, so my husband is an early to bed sleeper kind of a person, and I am a stay up and read all night long kind of a person. So I read in bed. He's a big sports guy, so he watches a lot of sports, and I love spending time with my husband, so I like to hang out with him. But what I end up doing is sitting on the couch next to him and reading while he's watching, golf for 4 hours on Sunday. I read everywhere, you guys. Number 6. What kind of books do you read? I am most drawn to historical fiction. Love historical fiction because I love learning about our history. YA fantasy, I love anything YA, but especially YA fantasy. Part of that is because I've had kids and I always want to read before they read to ensure that it's appropriate and it's something that can give them life and serve their imagination in a positive, healthy way. And once I started reading YA, I realized, oh my gosh, I love it. So Cassandra Clare and Holly Black and who else do I love? Aragon, Eldest, I love all of those books. I'm gonna sneeze, sorry, I hope I can edit sneezing. Woo! Okay, excuse me. I feel better. So I read historical fiction, I read YA fantasy, I love memoirs. I try to read around 2 a month because they're always so encouraging. I feel like I'm at an age now where I really enjoy learning about other people and their choices, and I am always trying to find ways to stay encouraged and inspired, and memoirs really do that for me. So I read a lot of memoirs. I also read contemporary fiction. I don't love contemporary fiction or women's fiction as much, but I do read some of it. And then of course I love Regency romance, anything relating to Jane Austen I read. So kind of all over the place, I guess, in my reading, but I don't really read. You don't come here if you want thrillers or crime or anything slightly negative because I love anything that's uplifting. That's what I'll read. Number 7, what is something that you bring to the BookTube community? That is a great question. I think age. Age and wisdom, baby. I'm old, but you know what? There's no age limit to reading, and I love to read, and I read a wide variety of things, and I love diverse reading. And I feel like when I started researching BookTube, there's a lot of young people, which is awesome, and there's a lot of fantasy readers, which is awesome, but I definitely read more deep, thought-provoking books, and I definitely really like to seek out diversity in my reading, so that's what you'll find here. You'll find a lot of those kind of books. I'm a photographer, I own a photography studio, and so hopefully this will be aesthetically pleasing at some point as well. Now granted, this is my first video, and so it's probably just going to be produced really on the down low just to actually have it be done, but at least it's done. Being done is important. Number 8. 8. Counting is not my strength. Number 8. What would you ask a fellow booktuber? I guess, how do you stay inspired? How do you stay motivated? How do you... my questions would just be, how do you make friends here? I am here because I want to share my books, but I also want to continue to connect. And I feel like I've figured out on Bookstagram how to connect with other Bookstagrammers, but BookTube is a whole other world and a whole other beast. And I definitely don't want to go this alone. I want to have friends in this space. I want to host, challenges and readathons, and I host a book club over on Bookstagram that I'd love to try to figure out how to continue over here in this space in BookTube. And so I think I would just ask how to build community, how to make friends, how best to utilize this space in a positive way. I know there's plenty of the internet that is negative, and that is not my jam. I want to always give life and truth and hope and joy in whatever space I encompass, and so that's what this is going to be. So I guess I would just want to know that too. How do I sway the negative? All right, did I miss anything? Is that all my notes? I made notes. Newbie. I think that's it. That's everything you need to know about me. I love books. I love talking about books, and I'm really looking forward to this space to be able to do just that. So I hope you'll stick around. I hope you'll subscribe somewhere, wherever I point and that magical thing happens where you subscribe. And I hope you'll join me each week. Here's kind of my plan of what I plan to do in this space, and to do all my unboxings here. I plan to do my book hauls here, my book mail here. I plan to share the books that I've read and talk about reviews. So that's where I'm at right now with this, and wish me luck. So tell me something I should know below about you, or about BookTube, or just say hi. Thanks. Stick around.